Hey guys, welcome back to Wood Tree Farm. I'm Phil. Today we're going to do a bunch of odds and ends. I'm going to give you a few updates on a few things, but I'm just going to drag the camera around today. I don't do this often because I find bringing the camera around for just some mundane kind of work sometimes is more work than it seems like it's worth. But you guys seem to like that kind of content when I just show you what I'm up to on any given day. So that's what we're going to do today. Starting off here with this load of totes that I just picked up yesterday in the rain. I didn't film that, but almost an hour drive away from here apparently is a pellet mill where they make wood pellets for heating or for barbecue, and they use soybean oil in that process, and that soybean oil comes in these totes. So these totes are quite dirty. I guess the oil residue and the sawdust in that manufacturing environment combine and just coats everything. So I'm going to try to drench all these totes in dish soap and see if we can't break up some of that oily residue that's on there, and then we can start using those to store some firewood in. So somewhere I've got a cordless power washer. We just used it a few weeks ago. It is right there. I'm sure it needs to be charged, so we'll do that now. So while that's charged, and I can do a handful of other things, and I feel like I probably spend about 30% of my time just fixing stuff around here. So for example, I've got lined up right here, the kids' go-kart has a shredded transmission belt. I'm not going to do that today. That water pump there was got some freeze damage over the winter. So this whole pump housing here got cracked, and I thought maybe we could probably weld it back together, but this is so thin and it's a very jagged thing. So I got online looking for parts. Apparently you can get just this outside housing piece, which is the only thing that's damaged on this pump, for like 60 bucks. It was back ordered several weeks though, and it was getting dry out here, and I wanted to run the pump for irrigation, so I just bought an entire new pump assembly, not the engine, but just the pump that bolts onto the engine, and I'm just going to steal the cover off of that pump and put on this one. And then the mower's got a flat tire as well, so there's 3 little repair projects right here in a row, and I've got other stuff around the farm too, but this is just where we kind of put all these things off to the side by themselves. We're going to fix that pump first because I'm going to end up using that pump to rinse off the totes, rinse off and rinse out the totes. So this pump I got last year from Northern Tool. I just picked it up. It was in stock from the local store here in Richmond. I think it's a 7 horsepower Honda, and it has a higher pressure pump on it than a standard trash pump. This is supposed to be able to do up to 90 or 94 psi. So it worked a lot better with my big rain gun irrigation guns, and I've been really pleased with it. I just made a stupid mistake and left water in it when it got cold last winter, and it immediately cracked that aluminum housing. So I got online looking for parts. It seemed like parts were available, and the most abundant source was from Jack's Small Engine Parts. And if you get online and look, they've got a pretty robust site with parts for lots of different brands of equipment. Turns out they're actually affiliated with Northern Tool, and all of the Northern Tool parts sales go through Jack's Small Engine. This particular thing, I mean, it is beat up, and it's got a sticker on there that kind of looks like it says 615. So has this been sitting around for 10 years? Possibly. The box certainly looks like it. Oh, hopefully the pump inside is in good shape. Came with a new strainer, don't need that. Alright, this is the part that we need. Yeah, got a little banged up. As far as the fragile parts around these bolt holes, it looks all right. See if it matches up to the old one. It appears that it does. So I'm just going to leave all those new parts in the box and just use this, and it should bolt right up. Figured while we got it here, we might as well change the oil. Smells good, no gas contamination. We probably ran that pump 15-20 hours last year. Oil's not that bad, but these things don't hold that much oil. It's cheap preventative maintenance on these small engines. So I got all the crates moved up into the field now. Got the pump down at the pond running. We're just gonna go dial up the throttle and we should have water coming out of the nozzle. And I'm just gonna try to knock off any of the chunks that I can now. Then we'll come back and we'll do the soap. So the first rinse got some of the debris off. The stuff that's really soaked in the oil is not budging with just the hose. So I am going to first finish rinsing because I couldn't drag that 2-inch hose full of water uphill far enough to get the backside of these. So I am going to go ahead, spray one more time, then I'm going to unstack them so I can spray off all of the tops, and then we'll get the soap out. So this is the Beaver cordless power washer. I think this is only like 40-50 bucks, not very expensive. It comes with a few different wands and different attachments so that you can have different spray patterns. It uses a simple little 20 volt 4 amp hour tool battery. It comes with one of those and a charger, and you know, it does pretty good. So this is a little soap canister, and we can pull this off and put a different wand on. And then I've just got the intake hose going down into this bucket with some water in it. I actually put soapy water in it. I don't know if that makes a difference, But we're going to run soapy water through the soapy cannon and see if we can get some of this oily residue off of these. Well, time to call it quits on this because the soap that I have is not strong enough. The power washer that I have is not strong enough. We are not making a dent in cleaning these off at all. Watch this. Even on its 0 degree, its finest setting, we can lift a tiny amount with that setting, but that would take forever. So, not the right tool for the job. I spent entirely too much time on those totes today. Pretty much the only thing I've gotten done today is rinsing out those totes. I unloaded the trailer, obviously. I returned the trailer to my neighbor who I borrowed it from. And then I had to hop on the computer for a couple hours, do some other things for my day job, my regular work. And now we're able to get back out here. I'm gonna unload the kiln now. That's the next thing that needs to get done. And if time allows today, we're gonna cut and split some wood as well. That's what I really wanna do. First time I've ever swept this out. There was a lot of debris in there. Alright, this here is just some pecan wood that got rained on, and I'm just going to drill some holes to let this rainwater out. Over here's the last bit of pecan wood that I have, and every batch that I make, it sells within a couple weeks. I think I have a couple bags from the last batch, particularly a couple bags of the 12-inch stuff. The chunks have been selling mostly, so I'm going to make just a batch of chunks this time and get it in the kiln, and within 2 to 3 weeks those are all dry and ready to go. Less than 15 minutes of cutting, 15 minutes of splitting. This will go sit in the kiln for 2 or 3 weeks, and that'll yield probably 5 bags if I had to guess, maybe 6. 6 bags at $20 a piece, $120 for less than an hour of work. I think is a pretty good rate when it comes to firewood. I like doing the barbecue wood because I get to meet fun people who are passionate about their barbecue and stuff. I'm not a barbecue expert. I've done a little bit here and there, but you know, hearing people be enthusiastic about using the wood that I produce is rewarding in a certain regard. I've had several customers text me or email me after they've done a cook and just rave about how much they enjoyed the wood, and that's always great to hear. So I'll keep doing that. It is actually a better average hourly rate than just typical firewood as well. It's just not a high volume thing. I've talked to a number of different barbecue outlets and restaurants and food trucks and whatnot, and they all in my area seem to have a pretty good source of cheap wood, and I'm not really trying to compete in the cheap wood game. So as far as me going out and trying to get more barbecue wood business, I just haven't really cracked that nut yet. But in the meantime, I'm kind of carving a name out for myself with the enthusiasts and trying to sell more small volume firewood products like those chunks. So anyway, it's about time for me to wrap it up for the day, and I appreciate you guys following along. I feel like we didn't actually get that much done today. We spent probably 2.5 to 3 hours messing around with those totes over there, and then we swapped out the kiln wood, which needed to get done anyway. That stuff had been in there since July 24th, and it's now into the first week of September, so it was like 7 weeks that stuff was in there. It needed to get out, and then we made this barbecue wood. So not a completely unproductive day, but I definitely didn't get as much done as I thought I would when I set out at the beginning of the day today. But thanks for following along, guys. I am on the next video going to start moving around some of the empty totes that I have up front. We're going to start putting them back in the back in that area that I've started clearing on another video. I am going to start staging some wood back there and splitting some wood back there. The log splitter from up here is going to end up back there as well. So we are going to slowly but surely shift all of the firewood production back across the property, and that means I will have just one centralized spot to do all my firewood stuff, which has never happened. I've never had an official wood yard. So I'm kind of looking forward to that happening. I still need to do some clearing out there, still need to do some cleanup, but there is enough space that we can kind of take a corner of what's over there and dedicate it to firewood production. And I'm looking forward to starting that process with you guys. So I'm going to quit talking now. Thanks for following along. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.